Reaction starts now.
This morning, there's some growing outrage with some over the lack of diversity in this year's list of Oscar nominees. Filmmaker Spike Lee and actress Jada Pinkett Smith say they're not going to go to the Oscars next month after an all-white list of nominees was announced for the major categories for a second year in a row. Join us now to weigh in, actress and Fox News contributor Stacey Dash. Stacey, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, what do you think about this?
I think it's ludicrous.
Why?
Because we have to make up our minds. Either we want to have segregation or integration. And if we don't want segregation, then we need to get rid of channels like BET and the BET Awards and the Image Awards, where you're only awarded if you're black. If it were the other way around, we would be up in arms. It's a double standard.
So you say there shouldn't be a BET channel?
No, I don't think so. No. Just like there shouldn't be a Black History Month. You know, we're Americans, period. That's it.
Are you saying there shouldn't be a Black History Month because there isn't a White History Month?
Exactly. Exactly.
Al Sharpton has jumped on this boycott bandwagon. He says, don't watch because Hollywood, here's a quote, Hollywood has become like the Rocky Mountains. The higher you get, the whiter.
The whiter you get. Well, that's not necessarily true. And if it is, you know, that needs to change. What I find astounding is that we've had a president who is black in office for the past 8 years, who gets most of his funding from the liberal elite in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Yet there are not very many roles for people of color. How can that be? And why is it just now being addressed?
I can understand Jada Pinkett Smith's frustration that her husband wasn't nominated for, you know, he did a great job in the movie Concussion.
He was fantastic.
But at the same time, what does that say about how people are selected for these awards?
Right, that's assuming they're selected by race, which I think would be a very a disservice to the people who are looking at the films and making the choices. Maybe they need to be more, you know, integrated and there need to be more diverse people in the process of electing.
In the Academy.
In the Academy.
The demographics of the Academy apparently are secret, but for the most part, according to some investigation out in Hollywood, it's predominantly white males.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. So maybe that says something about who they select, or are they looking for that or the best movies and the best actors?
I hope they're looking for the best movies and the best actors. The good news is that there's attention brought to it now. But like I said, over the past 8 years, we've had a president black who gets his funding mainly from Hollywood, the elite liberals.
Yeah.
So it's odd to me that this has now become such an issue.
Well, let's see what happens, because they are calling for people not to watch it. Let's see if the ratings go down.
I doubt it.
By the way, before you go, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
It's her birthday today. All right,
Thank
Stacey.
you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you today and every day.
Where do I begin? I'm usually bad on these, on these controversial debates, but oh my gosh! I mean, I gotta say that some of her points and in her response are solid. She has some solid points there, but obviously she has some points that are way out of line. I mean, like saying, taking BET off the air and not celebrate Black History Month anymore. I mean, like what the fuck? I mean, what kind of a solution is that? I mean, what? I mean, she's entitled to her opinion. I mean, let's just get that out there right now. I mean, I'm not saying we should all agree with her, but she is entitled to her opinion. I mean, she has the right to feel that way. I mean, like, just like we have the right, like we all have the right to make, great decisions and make very terrible decisions. We have the right to push ourselves over the edge and to pull ourselves back from the edge. But, I mean, the solid fact is that any deed, good or bad, does not go unpunished. And her statement here overall is very punishable. Now, Janet Hubert's response to Jada Pinkett Smith's boycott is much more spot on. Despite her, tensions and her vendetta over Will and smothering, his family with that, but in that response, I mean, I do not agree with that. But her statement alone, her response alone is spot on. I mean, you can disagree with me if you will. That's cool. That's totally fine. But I agree with, Janet Hubert about that. Now, Stacey Dash, however, talking about banning BET and Black History Month and there should be a White History Month or whatever. I mean, you can take that petition and shove it up your ass. Now, I'm not going to be, those people who goes too far and says shit like this.
Poison cleanses the soul. You should drink lots of it. Drink it all.
Now, I do agree with how the Oscars is being treated. The second year with an all-white list of nominees. I mean, like, what the fuck? I mean, let's face it, that is pretty racist. It is. And I don't blame Jada and, or Spike Lee or, Will Smith. He said he's stepping down too. I don't blame them for not going to be a part of that. Why show up, like if they're not on the list, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I can totally understand that. I can totally get that, how that would, really, take a toll, where it could hit them as hard as it did. Now, we all may not agree with Janet Hubert or, and Stacey Dash. Well, with me, I don't agree with the BET and Black History Month ban. I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with Janet Hubert using her vendetta, towards Will Smith, in that response, to Jada's boycott. I don't agree with that at all. But I do agree with what she was saying, though. I do agree with that overall. But we all have these rights to make these decisions, but we got to use our heads more. We have to use our heads more. And Stacey, you had no business, sharing that with everybody. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but you should have kept that shit to yourself. But I will give her points for being fearless and having that fearless attitude of, hurting people's feelings. Let's face it, not being afraid of hurting people's feelings will get you very far in life. But you need to be prepared for the possibilities of that lies ahead, in that journey. The friends you may lose, the respect you may lose, that you may gain at the same time, and you just but I mean, being afraid, of hurting people's feelings all the time keeps you stuck in one place, and you won't know how to push yourself forward, while you're doing that. So yes, I mean, I give her points for that, for not being afraid of hurting people's feelings. But saying that shit was way too far. This is like way out of proportion. Well, I think I covered everything I needed to say on this topic. And if you enjoyed my reaction and my sharing, my thoughts on this topic, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you click subscribe and share your thoughts on what Stacey Dash had to say, about the whole boycott, and Janet Hubert as well. I mean, feel free to share your thoughts on what she said as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.